But to flip it up now, we got mad, we got a little personal, but it's okay. That's what I'm here for, right?
It's all good.
That's what
Yeah.
it's for. Um, Video Game Awards is coming up December 8th.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
I voted for some because there's some games I played and stuff like that. Um, where did your love for video games come from? Like, where did it start for you? What can you remember? Like, it first started for you.
Man, this is a deep question right here because this is about to take you way back
And
to
hey,
the NE.
I want that. I want that.
So we're about to jump back to the NES days. So this is one showing my age, but at the end of the day, I remember my dad brought that home. I had no idea what this thing was, and he was like, "Yeah, we're about to play some games." And we had what Mario, Super Mario Brothers 3, I want to say at the time. And I don't really remember too much from it, but I do remember that system itself because of, how the way you put the cartridges and stuff in.
Uh huh.
But it really wasn't until the Super Nintendo came around. That's when I really started getting into it because we would have Super Mario All-Stars, and me and my dad would play two players, and we would try to run through the boards and try to beat the game before I had to go to sleep and stuff like that. And we used to play that game so much, and I had so much fun. And then what else? Mega Man X and Donkey Kong and all that good stuff. And that's when I really started to like really just fall in love with him because, when he couldn't play with me that much because he had to work or something like that, I would be sitting there playing it and I would be doing good. And he would come home and be like, "Man, you really got, up here without me?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm up here trying to get it in." And and then I want to say after that, the Saturn came out first, and I remember my mom got me that, but really, I didn't mess with that too much because I didn't really understand it. But when she got me the PlayStation, well, I should say they got me the PlayStation, that really changed the game. I didn't even know what that was either. I wasn't following any hype because I was still young, but I just remember getting that, and I had Tekken 2, and I had Crash Bandicoot, and I think Jet Moto and Jumping Flash actually, and it was a wrap. The PlayStation really just kind of just sealed the deal. As years goes on, you start getting into all those fabulous RPGs. Oh, and by the way, Super Nintendo has one of the best JRPGs ever with Super Mario RPG. That is like one of my top 5 favorite games. I forgot about that, but
I
I
was
did beat that.
I was I might argue on the best JRPG in Super Nintendo. I might have to argue with that one.
Yeah,
Um,
you're right, because there are a lot, but it's definitely up there for me.
oh no,
So
for a fact it's up there. For a fact it's up there.
but yeah, from there I just really been into games, and my friends and stuff would always come over to the house because we always had like all the games and stuff back in the day, and we would just all play, and we just had real good times, and just and also being able to talk about stuff with one another that was going on over like a game of NBA Live '98 or you know Parappa the Rapper or something like that. Just cool
Hit him
stuff.
with the chop.
Yeah, yeah, man. We all used to love that game.
Oh
Parappa the Rapper
man.
was awesome.
No, definitely, definitely. Nah, that's what's up. No, Nintendo was big for me.
Hmm.
I tell you this. My favorite Christmas, right? I remember waking up and I opened my first present, and it was this Ninja Turtle van, like life size, real big, and you open it
Hmm.
and it turns into the sewers, and you can have the figurines go through and everything, right? Like
Yeah.
I was going crazy, big Ninja Turtle fan. And then I opened the next present, and it was Super Mario 3. And I remember just that little yellow background and Mario with the flag. I went bonkers. That just went crazy, crazy. Nintendo. So I remember playing Nintendo. I'm really young, but I remember playing like the old school Ninja Turtle games. That hard ass Nintendo. I remember trying to beat the level with the water, get through the bombs and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Worst thing, but I remember Nintendo. Super Nintendo was real big for me because those were my Donkey Kong eras. You feel
Hmm.
me? So I remember playing Donkey Kong 1, 2, and 3. I remember playing Spider Man, Maximum Carnage. I remember
Oh,
that.
I forgot about Maximum Carnage.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
I remember that red red cartridge. And then I remember playing Chrono Trigger. Okay,
Oh,
top
okay. Yeah, go
top
ahead.
JRPG for Super Nintendo, by the way.
I'm gonna give you that for sure.
But I never knew what that genre was. I never know what it was called. I never knew. All I know that I love the game. Right? I love the I love the fighting or whatever the case is. But as I got older, that game just grew with me. You know what I mean? And it led me into this JRPG era that I never thought I'd get into, and it was just mind blowing. But I remember playing that. I remember always having the Super Nintendo. I remember my cousin Ralph, when he rest in peace, my cousin Raphael. I remember him playing Final Fantasy VII. And every day in the morning, I go to his crib before we start walking to school, and he's playing this game. I mean, like, he is playing this game. He's going crazy, crazy. And I remember then him having the Game Shark.
I remember those.
All these codes, and it was just like, for me, Nintendo was gold. Was gold. Super Nintendo was amazing. Just so much memories again. Donkey Kong, being one of the major things for me. What else they had? I remember playing.
They had Secret of Mana. What else?
No, they had Secret of Mana. I remember playing Street Fighter like crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Killer Instinct.
Oh, Killer Instinct with the black cartridge. That's what's another banger. Oh, the what is it? The Death and Return of Superman. Okay. Oh. One of the best beat 'em up and Superman games you could ever play. Oh my God. Just think, y'all, I might have to go on my emulator. But anyway.
Hey, that's what I do. Emulation all day, bro.
But Super Nintendo was my core. Like, Nintendo was there, but I was young, but Super Nintendo was like the core gaming experience for me. And then it just blew up from there. I remember when Final Fantasy VIII came out. That would be my first time playing the Final Fantasy game. That was like years after 7. And I remember I moved down to Florida and I saw this commercial and I was like, yo, my cousin used to play 7. And I'm thinking like, yo, is this like a part 2 or whatever the case is? You know, come to realize, continue, no part 2s and none of this stuff. But yeah. I remember just, once again, not even knowing at that time that this is called an RPG. And stuff like that. But I was always attracted to these games. There's the story, the amount of content that they had, the hours you could put in, the side quests, the magic, the fight, all this stuff. And it's a thing where it's like video games for me right there, which has been top notch. It went from Super Nintendo being my core, then to PlayStation.
Yeah, that PlayStation was really a good transition, and I think it really just took everybody by storm, not only for the disc-based media, but I think just the overall ability of what you can do with a game.
Yep.
I think that's where PlayStation shine. And don't get me wrong, the Sega Saturn, well, at least in Japan, had a lot of that cool stuff too, but we never really got it here. But and 64 didn't really have none of that either, besides Zelda. But
no, 64 was decent. It was okay. It's where I played Blitz the most, or whatever the case is.
Oh, Blitz used to be awesome. Yeah. Hey, me and the boys used to go crazy over that back when we was kids.
Blitz for me, Sega. The biggest thing for me in Sega was Streets of Rage. I used to play that all the time.
Streets of Rage, you say?
Yes.
Streets of Rage,
for sure. 1, 2, and 3. That was like my main. Those were the major games for me on Sega. Not Sonic or none of that. It was Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
GameCube was big. It had some games for me. My biggest game on GameCube was the Star Fox Adventures.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a double pack, wasn't it? No, that was the Wii U version. Sorry.
Yeah, so Star Fox Adventure was pretty dope because I don't know if it was a double pack. I remember renting that game out. We used to go to Blockbuster back in the day, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Blockbuster. So I remember renting that game and I was like, yo, Star Fox is out of the airplane? Like, oh, yo, what's this? So that was pretty dope. And then I remember going into Xbox.
Yeah, actually, the first Xbox was actually real interesting because I remember me specifically asking for that one. And I remember Kmart back when that existed at the time. Me and my mom went through there. And she made me put it on layaway because she was like, you got to get good grades in order for me to continue to keep putting money on this. And I was like, all right, cool. So, I was trying my best and I finally did what, they wanted. And I remember walking out with it. And when I got home, I was like, damn, this thing is big as hell,
Yeah, man.
But it came with Jet Set Radio Future, which was dope.
Jet Set Radio!
Absolutely. One of my best games, and also too, big shout out to the Sega Dreamcast because that's probably actually my favorite console. I love the arcadiness of that, but
Okay.
all of those Dreamcast games and just the vibe for some reason just jumped over to the original Xbox, and I don't know if it's because Peter Moore went over there, but I actually love that console. It did have some of the same games as PS2 and the GameCube and stuff like that, but it had its own quirky vibe to it at the time, and I really liked it. A Togi. What else?
Remember Brute Force? It was like one of
Yeah,
those first multiplayer games that they had.
yeah.
Yeah,
That actually felt like Halo before Halo. Well, Halo came out with it too, but it
yeah,
felt like I'm not gonna call it more polished, but it felt like something like a spinoff of that. So,
it was
yeah,
great.
Xbox was dope. I actually like that. You know.
Oh no, it was dope. You was able to put music CDs in there and download it into the Xbox and play it with your video games. Like
Yeah, man.
Microsoft had a banger when it first came out. Like
Yeah.
people forget how great the Xbox really was in the sense of media and what you was able to do with it. Halo was really big. Halo definitely turned the game around. And I wasn't playing PC games. I mean, I don't now, but back then I wasn't playing PC games like that. So Halo to me really turned that multiplayer thing, like that online multiplayer thing, into another level.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll be the first to admit, excuse me, when Halo first came out, I wasn't rocking with it at first. I don't know why. It just wasn't clicking. And I don't know if it's just that you didn't experience greatness when you first turned it on, but it really wasn't until like mid-life Xbox cycle that I really turned it on and I was like, Halo 2 was actually coming out. And I played it and I was like, damn, this is great. And then Halo 2 was out. And then that was I don't know. I think it was the biggest Halo ever released, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think
But
Halo 2 was the biggest because that's when the multiplayer game really turned out at that point in time.
yeah.
And I don't know, it's Xbox had definitely had a spot for me. The 360 too. I was a very big 360 fan.
Heavy 360 was awesome.
Yes,
Project Gotham
yes,
Racing was it for me.
yes. I was very big on 360. That's when listen. I went crazy with the 360. People could tell you like I was even playing. I was even playing PS3 like at that time. I was just on my and then like the 360 had this thing where they dropped the Lost Odyssey, right? A dope JRPG, which was
Yeah.
which he came from Sony, the creator of that, and he did something dope with that. Then they had Blue Dragon.
Oh, Blue Dragon is fire. I actually need to play that. So
Blue Dragon was dope, and then that's when they dropped Star Ocean, Last Hope.
wait, that's where that started at?
Last Hope. I think it was Star Ocean 4, if I'm correct. Uh, it started on Xbox first, and then Sony was able to get it, and then they got the international edition. That means they gave you all the things that they had in Japan because they came out of Japan for Sony, but only in America for the 360.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And they had a damn, that's another game that came out as well.
They had Infinite Discovery. I think that's what it was called. It was a Square game, and then I think that's what it's called.
There was another one. You know what? I'm gonna do this right now, mid pod. I'm gonna get that game because if I don't, it's gonna bother me.
Oh, you got the physical? All right.
All right. So check this out. This game came out for the 360 first.
Oh yeah, Eternal Sonata. That game's really good.
Yes.
Real good.
And then they dropped it on the PS3 and it came with all the extra stuff as well. Which down the road, and then for some reason somewhere in that life cycle with 360, they weren't getting no more love for these JRPGs. And then the PS3 just started dropping all these bangers left and right.
That's what I'm saying.
I
don't know what
all the Tales games. Tales of
Yeah.
Graces that came out for I think for the Wii. Tales of Graces came out for the Wii, got a petition, and it came out for Sony, and it was just amazing. They dropped all these Tales games, and I just lost my mind from there.
Yeah, man. PS3, I will give it to Sony. I don't know if it was Xbox kicking their ass for the first 1-2 years, but whatever happened over there, because that's the reason why we're in the situation we're in now with the PS5s and the 4, especially the 4. But yeah, the games got awesome, and that's when I actually migrated to the PS3 heavy from there because I was like, yo, a lot of these are just too good to pass up, you know?
Yep. Well, what is this? the PS3 started dropping really good AAA games. Don't forget when that war started, when that war started, Sony had to pay Microsoft because of the Rumble feature.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And the six axis controller?
yeah. So that's the reason why the first year the PS3 didn't have no Rumbles in them
Oh,
because
didn't
because
even know that.
because Sony wouldn't put the company that actually patent and all that just wanted their label, the little logo on the package of the controller, and Sony
Yeah.
wouldn't do it. So then Microsoft on the back end came and say, "Hey, I'm gonna buy you," and then Sony had to pay Microsoft. Then once they paid Microsoft, then Sony was able to put it on the controllers.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. All right, fun facts.
That was a baller ass move. I remember working at GameStop when I heard that story. I was
Who
those
knows? They
baller
might get a
moves.
second baller move like getting Activision. We'll see how that goes. So
That's we'll
that's a
see.
whole nother topic in its own, right?
That's a whole other episode to go with that one.
Yeah,
That's
right.
but no, but the love for games definitely started young, just like you. And I think also to I think the biggest thing, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, I think, but for your father to support and be down to play with you was a big thing.
Oh, absolutely, man. Because I didn't know what the hell I was doing back then, but it was cool because you got the companionship, you got the reward for actually, completing something, or regardless if he was there with you or not. Oh, I'm happy for you, and that was dope. And then even when you were stuck and y'all both couldn't beat the stage and stuff, and I'm getting frustrated and wanting to throw controllers and stuff like that, someone to sit there and try to calm you down at least. Like that's nice. Kind of it teaches you that control and also that self control that not everything's gonna go your way in life. And it's like life lessons that come along with that, and just the overall just spending time with somebody that eventually turns to spending time with others that you eventually turn to call friends. So
Definitely.
mhm.
Nah, see, for me, my pause wasn't in the picture. But for me, the video games, the getaway was the big thing for me. The fact of just zoning into like this story, this quote unquote book that I'm getting to play, I'm getting to listen to.
That's a good analogy.
That was a big factor for me. And like I said, since I do enjoy reading, that's where the JRPGs really hit for me. All these games, like these adventure games, like action games like God of War, like the history behind it, the story behind it, that type of thing just sucks me in. I could just lose myself because as a kid, I remember playing hours upon hours upon hours. And I mean, I used to go outside, I used to play baseball, I used to do all this other stuff, but it was like, yo, playing this game for the next 3 to 4 or 5 hours, that was just bliss, crazy stuff for me. So, and I'm never gonna give that up away. I'm turning 36 this year. 2 kids and a wife.
Birthday's in December.
Last day,
Oh man, well happy early birthday, bro.
last day. And I will never give up
Hey.
video games. I want to be that old man with the arthritis and he didn't shake it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be me.
No. And I'm gonna bring up something else to you because you just said something really like eye opening for me. You said I get to play this book.
Yeah.
Like I don't think people understand how powerful that is because that is completely true. And on top of that, being able to experience that fantasy between like the JRPGs and like the history of God of War, which is excellent in its own. But I want to touch back to a game that you helped me complete recently, which is Kingdom Hearts, right? So, if y'all don't know, Felix came through and I was making the game so hard on myself. My technique was trash and he literally he literally sits down with me for like 15, 20 minutes and here I am beating the final boss and stuff and beating the game crying at the end. I was like, but overall, like with playing something like Kingdom Hearts, this is what 1.5 by the way. So playing Kingdom Hearts and just the overall experience, like
Whatever. What he means by 1.5, he bought the 1.5 game that came with part one, Chain of Memories, part two. I
yeah.
just wanted to, for y'all don't get confused now, because Chain of Memories at one point was 1.5.
You,
So,
you you are correct. You are correct. My bad, guys. But there is a there is a a takeaway that you get from these games that you can literally apply in your own life, and that's what I like. And a lot of the great games have that. Uncharted has it. God of
Oh,
War,
Uncharted,
Kingdom
so
Hearts,
great.
Spider-Man, Miles Morales. There's a lot of great games that have excellent takeaways that you can really apply to your life. And it's like, I guess what makes a great game is the fact that when a game can touch on a subject that everybody goes through, regardless if it's vocal or not,
Hmm.
and it just really makes you sit there and think as the credits are rolling, like, damn, that was such a great experience. And, it might make you have a second look on that beef that you got with your parents, that second look on that disagreement that you might have with your child or something like that. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is, you
No,
know?
no, it is. Like a lot of the Tales games, they play into that. Like I call it they go Tales of Abyss.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good on character building. Tales of Graces is another one on character building. And really getting to know yourself and becoming leaders, and so are the Trails games. Anyone that plays Cold Steel or In the Sky, or even right now playing Trails of Zero, a lot of these
Mhm.
games have these like character building scenarios, and like and all, but it also give you this fantasy story, this grand story, that not only something that not only things that you can relate to the characters, but a story that you can enjoy.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna read a book you don't enjoy. You're not gonna watch a show you don't enjoy. Forget about it if you don't. Forget about you can't relate to the characters. If the content of itself is not good, you're not gonna care to watch it or to play it or to read it. So
Right.
in a lot of these games, you mentioned Uncharted 4 has to do a lot with family.
Hmm.
So when these games have great content, it's man, it's just like wow, you know what I mean? It wows you in, and then when you beat it, and especially when you connect it to the characters, when you beat it, it's almost like, damn, my homie's gone, like I'm done,
Yeah.
like
That was me in Persona 5, man. I was like, damn. I was like, that's it? Like, you know,
so
when's the next one coming out?
that's why I platinum my games, because I want to go all in. That's what she said. But she wants me to go all in. But I want to go all in, and and it's one of those things where it's just like, y'all want to complete all this. I want to make this story grand for me, because when I beat this game and I platinum, I'm never gonna pick it up again unless if I just want to just
Facts.
go through it.
Facts. And that is so true, bro, because I don't really pick up older games either. And I'll be honest, I don't even think I have a platinum trophy. Don't laugh at me, y'all. But at the same time, um, I want one day. But it's true, I don't pick up old games either. It's just like you're on to the next experience, you know? I'll get to the story mode, but that's about it. Or the quest or whatever. So
So yeah, oh yeah, ease games. I play a lot of ease games. Ease games are pretty cool. I'm a big little Falcon fan. So Falcon
so
and all that.
so let me ask you a question too with the games aspect. So I know you like your JRPGs and stuff, but for you, I know we talked about Chrono Trigger, but what would you say is your most impactful game that you've played to date?
What well like in general and for my whole life, like what's one of the
Yeah, what's
what
that one game where you're like, yo, ain't nothing topping this?
Wild Arms 2.
Ooh, that's a good choice, bro. That's PS2 era, right? Or is that PS1?
PS2 era. Is it? No, PS1, 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 PS1,
Damn, I
PS1,
forgot about Wild Arms,
PS1,
bro.
PS1. Wild Arms 2 was big for me. And let me tell you about Wild Arms 2. Once again, at that time, not really knowing the genre, I was at Blockbuster. Once again, something that's not around.
Hmm.
Um, I saw the cover, and I was like, man, this looks dope. Just by the cover. I went and I played it, and the biggest thing that got me at that time was I get to choose who I want to start the game with. And I was like, nah, this is dope. And it's like, and then you got to see an intro of like three characters, and then you get to see how they meet. That grabbed me, like, yo, like hold up, like what the fuck is this? And the mysteries of certain characters, the stories, the turns and the twisting, and the bad guys, and almost to the point where like, damn, was he really a bad guy, or is it that he just saw an outcome to a situation different that doesn't vibe with the world because you make it unsafe for every, you know what I'm saying? Like, it sucks you in, and it was that big, and I was just like, you know what, like. To this day, I just don't forget that game. I even have the soundtrack. Like, it's just no
That's
joke.
awesome, bro.
Nah,
That's
it's
awesome, bro. That's the power of good writing right there.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. It was great. So yeah, that's the game I'll never ever forget. You know, I could tell you Chrono Trigger. Yes, was the best JRPG that I played. You know, I played it when I was young. I played it again when it came out for the PlayStation when they had the anime intro. You know, I don't know. I played it plenty of times, but a game that's always stuck to me was Wild Arms 2. Like it never like when you asked me that question, I already knew the answer. Like I was just ready just to interrupt you. Like Wild Arms 2, like, I got it. Like I want to be there, and it's that big. That game is that big for me. So I'll never forget it. And I think it's everything around it, right? The just being young, just being in middle school. I remember where we was living at. I remember just going to Blockbuster and then getting food afterwards. Like everything behind it of how I first got introduced to this game and played this game is such a great memory that I think that's why it's so impactful. And remember, I played it young, and it was crazy. When I got older and I started and I knew when I was playing, I knew my video games. I was understand the story. That game way made so much more sense than ever before. Like I loved it. I loved it when I first got it in the middle school, as in like high school, adult, just leaving high school, coming to adulthood. That game's different.
You know, I will say this before we move on to the next topic, but like Nintendo and Sony, whoever, if somebody runs across this podcast and y'all hear this, like, please don't let a lot of those old games die because if I'm not mistaken, I think Wild Arms 3 is on PS5 right now for backwards compatibility, but the rest of them aren't there. And the dot hacks are missing, majority of them. And just a lot of other things that
What
I know that you guys have in your catalog that you guys can bring back. So please just do us a favor and just don't let
what
them
those
die.
those dot hacks are Bandai, and real quick, one more. I got to give another shout out just to this game because I think it's another one that could go hand in hand with Wild Arms. Arc the Lad Part 1 and Part 2.
Oh, wait a minute. Arcalad. Yeah. Ain't that on the PS5 right now? Is that the same one or is it a different one?
Nah, I don't think they got one on the PS5. I would have known that. I would
Oh,
have known that. That's a PS1
I
game.
remember playing one of those.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you a fun fact about that before we go on because the next one is anime. Arc the Lad came out around the same time as Final Fantasy VII, and that's why that hype never really shipped because Final Fantasy VII just overshadowed everything at that point, at that time, just from Cloud, just from Sephiroth alone. That whole character base that they had going on, the whole Midgar, it was such a big story. Games like Arc the Lad went under the radar. Arc the Lad is such what is it? It's a strategy RPG game. So you grid based basically. You know what I'm saying? It's turn based, but it's also grid based. So but the characters and the story, so amazing. Don't care for part 3, but 1 and 2, perfect.
And this is PlayStation, right?
These are PS1 games, perfect. Once again, the PS1 and the PS2 era of JRPGs is by far some of the best video gaming ever.
Oh, absolutely. Hands down. Absolutely.
By far, there's good ones now. It's on the PS3, on the PS4, blah blah blah, whatever. But PS1 and PS2, if they gave, they just, I feel like there was so much love put into these games, so much like just late nights and just perfection put into these games that you see it still, but you don't see it as much.
Exactly.
And I think it's because of the ability to do DLC, the ability, to do updates and stuff like that. I think that's the reason why some of these games are just like they come on. Like, oh, we'll fix it later. You know what I'm saying? Or reason why some of the storylines are just based, just whatever, because they're hoping that gameplay would be enough.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately,
All right, now, how big are you to anime? You like anime?
I do, but I'm not as big into it anymore. I used to be huge when I was younger because I used to just have it on when I was making music. So, for instance, what was it, Toonami? Yeah. So, Inuyasha, Cowboy Bebop was a huge one for me. Of course, Dragon Ball Z. Um, what else? Now, My Hero Academia, and there's another one. Oh, I'm actually going to include this in the anime section because it's technically an anime, even though everybody thinks the show's funny as shit. But the Boondocks, I love that show back in the day. And oh, and oh damn, Afro Samurai. Those two.
Oh, you
Yeah,
can't
those two.
forget Afro Samurai.
Yeah, those were all my shows. I love them all, and I used to watch all the reruns, and I used to know those shows like the back of my head. I'm pretty sure if they. Oh, and Tenchi Muyo as well. I forgot about that.
Chenchi Muya, hey,
Yeah.
you hit it on the nail with that one. Yo,
Yeah,
I
bro.
love how they switched that anime. Because before it was just this dude with the females living in his crib and all this other stuff. And then it turned into this man becoming his own badass heroes. And I was just like, yo, where this come from? So
Yeah,
yes,
man.
Chenchi Muya was definitely one of those.
All of those.
I think you forgot. Then I think they had a Spirit Detective, didn't they have that?
Yes, Spirit Detective, and then after that, I think they after that it kind of went away, and then Sailor Moon took over for a long time. Hamtaro, and I forget the one little thing that used to show his butt all the time. Can't think of his name,
Show his butt all
but
the time.
yeah, it was this little person, this little, I assume Japanese dude, and he had on a red shirt, and he would show his butt all the time. I sound like an idiot right now because I don't know what the name of it is. Hold on.
Cause I'm like, yo, what is he talking about?
Hold on, I'm about to look it up. Hold on.
I remember Cartoon Network had Big O.
Yeah. The Gundam one.
Nah, Big O. It was like this Bruce Wayne looking like dude that always got into a robot, and he'd be like Big O, and he'll jump into this robot. It was almost a copy of like Batman, because the city looked like Gotham, the dude looked like Bruce Wayne, and he had like this big robot that just fight bad guys. It was just Big O. You look it up, you'll see. I really didn't get into it as much though.
Oh, this is gonna be a task, and I'm not gonna do that to you right now. But if it comes to me, I'll speak it later.
Please do, please do.
Yeah.
Well, it don't have to be anime. Only reason why I'm bringing up cartoons, period, because we grew up in an era where cartoons was big, and we're talking. I mean, anime is big now. It's gotten very commercialized. Everyone now is an anime fan. Everyone now watches anime. Everybody, whatever. I remember I used to get teased for watching anime. Now everyone, now everyone is all the cool kids watch anime now. So, but I remember waking up those Saturday mornings to watch Power Rangers and the Pokemons and the X-Men, and you would go back and forth between Fox and WB because they just had all the cartoons. Um and those were very big in my childhood. I think, and that's also what led to like uh uh this want for video games, or like just like the quote unquote nerdy life. Like, you know what I mean? It helped me stay away from a lot of things in life. Just because I wanted to
Yeah.
do that, because I wanted to watch that more than anything and go outside and play and run around. Um, and I don't know. I think cartoons now just suck these days. But I'm glad kids get into anime more though.
Yeah, they do. And I'm not going to go on a rant on that because that could be a whole nother episode in its own. But to touch back on what I was looking for originally, it is Shin Chan or Crayon Shin Chan. Shin Chan, I should say. That was on Toonami at one point in time, and I used to watch that too. But
I
to
remember
what
that
you were
one.
saying about the shows and stuff, I feel like animes allow writers to really like pour their heart out into an animation that they have complete control over. And like video games we just talked about, the lesson that you get from episodes, if not the entire series, is just something that just really changes your life if you're really invested in it, you know? And you know, there's so many animes. Not all of them are good, unfortunately, but at the same time, you can still pick something up out of any of the ones that you do watch, and I think that's what's great about them. You know?
I think Naruto's a big one. Naruto give
Oh,
you
actually,
life
yeah.
lessons. They give
Hmm.
you life. They make yo. They make you go to this journey of death with him. Like you
Yeah.
feel his pain. You know what I'm saying? Well, like when Jiraiya passed away, Pervy Sage. But when it's my man's. When he passed away, I felt that pain. It's just like yo, and it's one of those things. They make you fall for these characters, invest for these characters, right? They're like our soap operas, you know. Like animes
Exactly.
is like our version of soap operas. You feel me? And that's another thing. That's another thing I'll never stop watching because you always have a lot of and a lot of the animes that I watch as I got older became that story wise. Like I watch a lot of slice of life anime, and it doesn't have to deal with nothing, no fighting, no nothing, and it's just about just growing up. I think one of the best ones that I've seen, well, for me it was best, and I love it. It was, I think it's called Kids on the Slope. Um,
Kids on the slope.
yeah, Kids on the Slope, and then basically just the high school kids that grew up. Damn, I forgot the setting. I know it was like 19 something, if I'm correct, somewhere around there. Like 70 something. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. But these group of kids is they build a band together and they go through high school and then you see them grow and out of high school and all that other stuff and so much drama in between all those times. And that which is amazing for me. No fighting, no nothing, just life. You know what I mean? And we all go through that, where
Right.
we have a group of people that we grew up, go to middle school, high school with, and then we grow up. Things happen in life. You go separate ways. Different doors open up. This, and then it's like I felt that. Like I truly felt that, and then you got stuff like Naruto where you have your fighting and everything, but you also have the you have the villages where like everyone knows each other and you grow and at one time you was this pain in the ass and now you the hero, but you also got to deal with the you also got to deal with death. People do die,
Right.
and especially when you in battles, when you in war, and there is no there is no true happiness in that, and they show it. You know what I'm saying? And One Piece, which is my favorite, just tatted on me. Is
Yo, I'm actually happy you said that because I love One Piece, bro. I love the games, all that. I like the
yes,
characters. That's
yes,
dope,
yeah.
man.
No, One Piece is big. My Nakamas and my homies. You feel me? Put the X on, like, that also shows growth. And whoever hasn't watched One Piece, big spoiler alert. Um, what the Fox? You far in One Piece as well?
Man,
How far are you?
I got to think about it because it's been patches of where I've been at. To be honest with you, with One Piece, I don't think I'm as far as I need to be. I wouldn't say that I'm early on, but I do remember watching the early shows. I know they show some stuff on Toonami too, but I couldn't necessarily tell you off the top of my
So
head. Let me
so
see if I can pull this
there's
up.
there's a part in One Piece, but I need to there's a part in One Piece where life hits, where it's no more island to island and you defeating the bad guys and things happening or whatever. It's a point where it's like, oh shit, yo, everything changes from here, and once again I like that. I like when they do that. I like when they add. I like when they show the pain. I like when they show the happiness and everything. So yeah, no, anime's big. Like anime's real big, and I remember getting into like when it was on Cartoon Network. I didn't know they were animes. I just thought they were
Yeah, you just thought they
cartoons.
were
Yeah,
shows.
it's just
Yeah.
cartoons, right? I remember working at GameStop, and there was a home. And I remember working at GameStop. I just got out of a relationship or whatever the case is, and I was just like, I had all this time. And I needed something just to do besides going out and getting drunk and doing dumb shit. So, I remember my homie was like, yo, you watch anime? And I was just like, what's anime? And he told me, I was like, oh shit, yeah, I watch anime. But he was just like, nah, but do you watch it in its original version? He's talking about like subtitles, and I was just like, nah. But then he was like, yo, here, watch all this. So he gave me two animes It was GTO, greatest teacher Anazuki, and ROD, Read or Die,
Okay.
and amazing animes. Both of them. Greatest teacher Anazuki's pure comedy. He's pure comedy. He's an ex banger who ex game banger who wants to become a teacher just so he can see girls' panties like dead ass, right? So it's just like a nigga's a pervert, right? But
Yeah.
but he ends up becoming like he ends up becoming like the big brother, the counselor, the guys that he want to go to, the females that they want to go to for protection. So this thing that he went for ends up turning out to be more than just the shit that he went for, like, and it becoming more of him being a leader and in another way besides being a gangbanger and being a leader of like raising these kids, helping these kids. And that right there, which is crazy because they took like this comedy perverted part of the anime and turned it into something where it's nowhere near that. It's still comedy, but it's nowhere near as perverted as you thought it started off with. And it's just like, yo, that's crazy. Read or Die was nuts. You got these librarians who just want to protect the books and they fight, with all that. So and I did all this Japanese. And from that point on, I turned into this just anime person. I just disappeared into this anime world. Never look back. Never look back. Over.
But it's a great field to be into. And you know, I would like to watch more. So like there's some deep cut animes like what you just mentioned and stuff and things that I don't know about. So you got to share the wealth, bro. I saw it because I'll pull them up and try to watch them.
I got a list. I mean, I got a website I could give you called My Anime List. Anyone that just know My Anime List, I think .com or .net, one of those two. I don't remember because I got it on my app now. I got it on the app. But basically, you can list the animes that you're watching, that you finished, that you're planning to watch. Just keep track of everything. But
Dope.
I'm
Okay.
knee deep. I'm sports anime, slice of life anime, fighting anime. I'm knee deep in it. It just like I said, I don't know, it's a way to get away from all the other nonsense going on in this world. Just with video gaming, you know what I'm saying? Plus,
Absolutely.
there's a way to save money too.
Absolutely,
No, no, but I got you. We're definitely gonna get the anime game popping for a fact. And then you probably just might get ideas for making music. Might hear something.
That's what I wanted for right there. Hold on. Hopefully it's ain't loud, but
Are
yeah,
you
that's what I
good?
wanted for right there because I want to go back to the roots. Because I can watch something and something will look real cool in my mind, and I'll be like, "Oh, dope! What if I made like action music around that?" Like that's how the way I think, and um, I can't wait, man. So definitely starting off with One Piece, and to kind of give you an idea of where I was at, because One Piece has a tremendous amount of episodes.
That it
We
does.
we are. I've watched Escape the Marine Fortress and Foxy Pirate Crew, Erie's Lobby, and I think the Saboti Archipelago or something like that. So those are from what 2004 to 2008. And then of course I see a little bit of the new stuff, but there's just so much that I'm missing that I need to
Okay. Yeah.
get
This
into.
definitely is. This definitely is. It definitely is. But now we'll work on that between Kingdom Hearts and so much other stuff.
Yeah, I know it's a lot on your plate. Yeah.
It's definitely not. But we got it going. Um, Fox, y'all appreciate you coming, man. I appreciate you being here, and there's definitely gonna be more episodes with you involved. We're gonna keep people updated. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna show them. We gonna let them listen to the music that you're making. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah.
Absolutely. And with that being said too, I had a great time here for show. And this is great to be able to come up here and talk about stuff that, nobody else necessarily asked me about. Animes, JRPGs, just getting into like why things are the way they are and also getting some of that sensei talk too. So, I appreciate it.
Not hey, this is just beginning. We ain't do a deep dive, man. We there's a lot. We all got history, and this is the place right here where you could talk about history because it just might help someone. You know
Hmm.
what? Whatever tragic, whatever things you went through, we'll talk about it one day, just because it might help, just in case if you need some healing. And with you talking and you speaking, and people listening, it just might help them. I feel like a lot of people need to know that they're not alone when they're going through something. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things at times that we all feel like it's just us.
Right.
That's what I do with all the episodes. I just let people know that they're not alone and we're here. But I wanted this first episode to be just to be fun. You know, I want to talk about the things that we love, the things that we do, and then next time when we update on everything else, we get a little bit more Fox. You know what I'm saying?
All
Um,
right.
um, if you got any handles, shout them out, man. Let them know what's up, where they can follow you.
Absolutely. So as of right now, we are solo dolo with just Twitter. Shout out to Elon Musk, but you can go to Twitter/RetroFox Live and you can catch me there. Um, I like to say it's on track with just talking about games, but you're gonna get a little bit of everything. So just stay tuned and interact and have fun. So yeah.
Y'all already know I will put his tag up at the end of the episode like I do with everything else. If y'all made it this far, I appreciate it. I appreciate that you listen. Please go follow my man Wedger on Twitter. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification button. And the best thing you can do is share to let people know what's up. Let people know they're not alone. And plus, if they want to laugh, they can come and see this episode as well. With that said, Fox, thank you, brother. Thank you, King.
Thank you.
For all my kings and queens, prince and princess out there, love and peace.